between the Warrington Wolves in second and the leaders St Helens. Saints have beaten Warrington once already in round 10, so the Wolves are out to avenge that and close the gap on the Saints at the top of the table. Well, despite strong rumours during the build-up to this game, there is no Luther Burrell in Warrington's side, despite suggestions that the former England Rugby Union three-quarter would make his debut. But Tom Lynham is back for Warrington after suspension. Still no Stephen Ratchford, so Jake Mamo continues at fullback. Charlie Lynham on the wings, Toby King, Bryson Goodwin centres, Austin and Patton halves, Chris Hill, Darryl Clark, Mike Cooper, Ben Curry, Jack Hughes, and the first start of the season for Sitaleki Akuala at loose forwards. And on the bench, birthday boy Jason Clark, 30 today. Lamatasi is back after 8 out. Joe Philbin, Matt Davis, coach Steve Price. Now then, St Helens, no James Roby, so Aaron Smith continues in the hooking role, and significantly no Zeb Taylor in the second row, but Joseph Paulo is fit to return. Lachlan Coote is at fullback, Makinson and Regan Grace the wings, Nagama and Mark Percival the centres, Lomax and Farge the halves and the forwards. Alex Wormsley captains the side, Aaron Smith, Luke Thompson, Morgan Knowles, Dominic Peyroux and Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook. And on the bench, Paulo, Amor, Lees and Bentley, the coach, Justin Holbrook. And Justin Holbrook and Steve Price, close pals. We saw them chatting ahead of the game, but all friendships go out of the window very shortly when the whistle blows here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. Seeing the big gun go off. The match ball will be presented by a member of the 1st Battalion of the Irish Guards very shortly. And it's Warrington's Armed Forces Day tomorrow at the Crossfields Club, and several big games there, including a Crossfield Select against the Army Rugby League side, and it all starts at 10:30 in the morning. What a great atmosphere. We had a fantastic atmosphere at Hull Kingston Rovers last night, and this is going to, I think, equal that, because we have got a huge contingent of travelling support from St Helens. The crowd basking in the evening sunshine. It's hot, it's sweaty, and it is gonna be one heck of a game.
As a player, Bill, you live for these sorts of nights, and to play in games against opposition that you know you're going to be tested. Two remarkable sides, ultra talented, who won't leave anything in the changing room. 80 minutes they need to perform and be at their best and set down a marker for the end of the year for if these two sides are to get to Old Trafford. They've never met at Old Trafford before and played in a grand final, and comfortably the best two sides in the competition. They've got to perform on this big stage, and what an atmosphere and what an occasion that we're going to have here tonight.
And Warrington have really got to turn the form book around as far as playing against St Helens goes, because they've only won one of their last 5 meetings with Saints, but it was one that mattered. That was when they won their playoff semi-final at Saints last October, 18-13. If they could repeat that sort of form, then it would be a very happy crowd here at the Halliwell Jones.
Well, what an atmosphere we've got here at the Halliwell Jones. I can hardly hear myself speak, which might be a good thing, Bill, I'm not too sure, but Warrington, it's a big test for them tonight, not only to keep in that race for the league leaders shield, the top spot, but also to perform under pressure in a big game. This is a must-win game. I give them a real chance here, the Wolves.
Colour Sergeant Will Pinter has delivered the match ball to the referee, Ben Thaler, who was the video ref at Hull Kingston Rovers last night. Roles reversed, because he's out there on the pitch. And Robert Hicks, who was in charge of that fantastic game at Caycon Craven Park, is the video ref for tonight. Louis McCarthy, Scarborough, all smiles, but butterflies as well, nerves, anticipation. Awaiting these players now. 80 minutes, who knows, maybe longer.
You wouldn't put it past them, would you?
You wouldn't. 80 minutes of significant action coming up between the top two in the Betfred Super League. There's Aaron Smith. No James Roby still for the Saints after that groin operation. And Coote gets the game underway into the sunshine on that far side of the field. Warrington get their hands on the ball early on. Akuala with the first touch. Significant, they've named him in the starting lineup for the first time this season.
Well, I think the likes of him and Joe Philbin really complement each other because both of them are direct, both of them run really hard. So when you take Akuala off, who will have a good 15-20 minutes, you bring Joe Philbin back onto the pitch, the intensity of that sort of play won't drop.
Here's the main man for Warrington, Blake Austin. There's Jake Mamo, and Mamo carving his way through, courtesy of Austin's pass, and Mamo eventually brought down. But Saints caught napping there. Austin weaving his way back across the field, then fires a booming pass over to the other side of the field, and Goodwin cuts back in field. Saints regrouping. Goodwin avoids the first challenge. McCarthy Scarsbrooks gets a hold of him. The crowd roaring Warrington on early doors here. Patton's crossfield kick. Charlie goes up for it, and the ball is claimed. And there's sighs of relief as Regan Grace gets his hands on that. Well, sighs of relief from the Saints fans.
A good take as well, because he was under some pressure. Again, heavy challenge from Mike Cooper on Mark Percival as he looks to bring the ball forward. They really are ripping into Saints. I know they've only had one set with the ball, but there's some real intent in the play. They're not just going to drive the ball up. They're going to ask plenty of questions.
Saints are going to have to weather a storm early on here because Warrington have come out firing.
And that's how they'll do it. Width from acting out. You saw that last pass from Aaron Smith, 10 metres away from the teeth of the defence of the Wolves.
Farge with the kick. Strong boot downfield, and Jake Mamo lets it bounce. The sun may be causing him problems in that little section of the field.
And because the ball bounced as well, it gave Saints probably 10-20 metres to get up in the face of Mamo then.
So a bright start from the Warrington Wolves, looking to atone for their round 10 defeat at the hands of St Helens. A pretty comprehensive one as well it was, 38-12. Goodwin on the halfway line. Oh, Akuala has left Aaron Smith on the deck.
And that is where he's really, really strong. He will pick his target. He won't change where he's going to run. He just goes straight and hard, hits him with everything. And Smith, when he goes into contact, his head probably makes contact with his shoulder or the top of his arm.
He did something similar to Scott Taylor, who's a pretty big man, a prop forward for Holy Man. I've seen play last night on a game here. Akuala got up to full speed then.
I think that's the third occasion when he's gone into defence. Aaron Smith has either missed the tackle or dropped off it. Talked before the game about the responsibility of the number 9 role within the St Helens side, leading that defensive line. Good line speed, but more importantly is the effectiveness of those challenges.
Akuala getting a starting opportunity and making his mark. And the Saints medical team on the field to check on the well-being of 22-year-old Aaron Smith.
And nothing illegal in that carry from Akuala.
Do you think he hits his elbow though, Terry?
No, I think he hits the top of his arm, Phil. I just think the way that he carries the ball, you always know that when you're up against Akuala or Philbin, they carry the ball, they have a little twist when they go into contact.
You're correct, yeah.
Aaron Smith, who's on the floor now, he will put himself in front of Akuala all the time. He won't back down from the challenge, and what was nice to see was Akuala go straight up to Aaron Smith while he's lying on the floor and just check on the youngster to make sure that he's okay.
Hallowell Jones Stadium just about full to capacity. 1 or 2 empty seats, but even those are being filled up now.
There you go. He'll run as hard as he can at him. He looks to knock him backwards, knock him into Rose head, but he wants to make sure that the youngster's okay as well.
Well, Bill, you asked the question. We hope Aaron Smith's going to be okay. Excellent medical attention here from St Helens. We'll just make sure that everything's right. You asked, by picking a koala, what impact that had. Do you know, I think Warrington realised if they're going to beat St Helens tonight and in other big games this season, perhaps at the grand final, they need to be able to match or better the Saints in this opening 20 minutes. If you look between the 20th and the 80th minute of matches this season, these two teams have scored a similar number of tries. But in that opening quarter, the first 20 minutes, St Helens have scored almost twice as many tries as Warrington. And putting a koala on the field, and the impact you've seen with his 2 runs already, certainly balances the field, and it's helped to get Warrington on the front foot to begin with.
Oh, how's this going to affect and reshuffle this St Helens side? James Bentley is on the back. He's on the field, sorry. He can play in the hooking role. He's got a lot of versatility in his game. Of course, we hope Aaron Smith is first of all okay and hopefully able to come back onto the field at some point. It looks unlikely at this stage, but James Bentley might well get the nod from Justin Holbrook.
Bentley's the obvious choice. He was the 2017 Young Player of the Year in the Betfred Championships. And there he is on the sidelines, an Irish international already, and a very talented player, as was he, Paul Cullen, once to this parish.
He was.
Looks well, doesn't he? He's been away, the lad, hasn't he?
He's always away.
He was a rough old cookie, Paul Cullen.
Well, isn't there a quote in the Warrington home dressing room from Paul Cullen? Talks about if you want to come here and win, then you're going to have to pay the price. There has to be some pain, some sacrifice.
Early penalty for Salford has put them ahead at Wigan, one of the Friday night games.
Warrington will look at Saints as well, Bill, and think, look, this side is unbeatable. See Adam Fogarty, Nigel Wood, both relaxing, enjoying the atmosphere. Hopefully they've bought the tickets and help put some money back into the game at this club. So Warrington would be looking at Saints saying, yeah, this side, they are beatable. You look 3 weeks ago when they got beat by London in the extra time, 23-22, after winning 9 consecutive games in League and Cup. Saints, the Warrington fans know that for their team to win, they've got to be absolutely bang on tonight.
Robert Elston, Super League's chief exec, among the crowd here as well. A game not to miss, this one.
Well, I guess if you're family or friend of Aaron Smith, you'd be worried a little about him. You can only hope that he's going to be okay. As we say, he's got immediate attention, excellently and professionally taken care of here with any serious on-field injury. We're very fortunate in rugby league that serious injuries are few and far between. And the sport does, of course, have the benevolent fund, which does help those who tragically do suffer serious long-term injury. And I'd like to thank the Steve Prescott Foundation, who do a great deal there to help in that regard as well.
So Aaron Smith just being helped from the field very shortly.
Well, he's in good hands there with Simon Perrott and Paul Stockton, the two Saints doctors, just taking the time and place from both sides, and the fans won't mind with the interruption of the game. The first responsibility is making sure that Aaron Smith's okay.
There's always a lot of compassion shown from opposition fans, home fans, whenever a player goes down. Not a peep will be said about the player on the deck. It's a glorious evening and a wonderful atmosphere to start this game. But only had a couple of minutes, of course. Richard Marshall, Paul Wellens, Justin Holbrook in discussion.
The walkie-talkie don't seem to be working. Paul Wellens up the steps.
They probably can't hear it, it's that loud.
We're back in action next week, next Thursday, 7 o'clock, for Salford Red Devils against the Huddersfield Giants on Sky Sports Arena. And then Friday could be a significant game for the Castleford Tigers and the Leeds Rhinos. Sky Sports Arena for that one. And Saturday afternoon, 5 o'clock, the Catalan Dragons host Wakefield Trinity. That's on Sky Sports Action. Let's hope it's cooled down in Perpignan. 42 degrees in Perpignan today.
Running round for 80 minutes. You won't be looking for extra time in that game, would you? as a player.
It's hot enough here.
It is hot enough here. Late 20s. Lots of water taken on board. It's very important. Hydration. Eddie Gardner and the rest of the staff on shore from both sides, Saints and Warrington, will want to make sure that every player is fully hydrated. You don't get a bout of cramp later on in this game.
It's Aaron Smith. Very well attended. And Akuala again. Just a gesture from him as Aaron Smith's help from the field, and let's hope that this is the usual precautionary routine that they now go through, nothing taken to chance in these situations.
Yeah, well, back into the game, but again that shows the respect that the players have for each other.
And James Bentley is on. Will play the ball. It's the 5th tackle and the kick's hoisted. Grace coming for it. It's acclaimed by Warrington and Charnley. Little kick crossfield. The ball sits up and it's booted over the dead ball line by Theo Farge.
Well, they must have been watching the game last night. That was how Hull KR it scored their first try. Look at that kick from Charnley, looking for pattern. And Saints not taking any chances. Theo Farge coming to the rescue and just wellying that ball into the stand. And a tough night for that man as well.
Wolf, not Mamo.
Mamo claims that goal line dropout and runs it back. Thompson gets a hold of him. Morgan Knowles in there as well. So Warrington certainly starting this game the stronger of the two sides. That long stoppage, of course, only 3 minutes gone, not the best pass, but they keep the ball alive. Mamo gets it to Charnley. Charnley dueling with Grace. Hughes. And here is Austin. Cooper now, about 20 metres out, the Warrington Wolves. 4 tackles gone, 4 minutes gone. Saints very much on the defensive early on in this game. Hughes, one-handed pass. King plays the ball. Little grubber kick, again ricochets from Patton and scooped up by Bentley. Bentley gets away
still
from
going, Bill.
Austin and makes almost to the halfway line.
A wonderful first involvement. I know he's been involved defensively, James Bentley. So impressive last week against Leeds. Kept his spot in the team, and Saints, we'll talk about transition, right on the attack now and in good ball.
Really first opportunity of this game for St Helens. And now in a good position. Here's Wormsley, but Wormsley greeted warmly by Mike Cooper and Chris Hill. Justin Holbrook, anxious look on the Saints coach's face. Here is Lomax, but the pass ricochets, and Warrington looking to counter, but referee Ben Thaler brings them back.
A tough ball to catch that at the line for Saints.
Let's go down to the sideline because we've seen Aaron Smith carried off. We can get some news on him now from Fraser Dainton.
Yeah, some very concerned faces on the sidelines, Bill, as you can imagine, and the spinal board brought in pretty much as a precaution, because when you have that sort of a head injury, and it is a head injury, I'm told you've got to be very, very careful, of course. He's been taken off into the dressing rooms to have an assessment. The good news is that his eyes are open, he is conscious, so he's being assessed in the dressing room, but at this stage, very early, obviously, but it looks very unlikely that he would take part any more in this game.
Thanks, Fraser. Darryl Clark. Here's Jack Hughes. Consistent performer. He's missed only 1 of 21 games so far this season as Hughes. Chris Hill likewise. And that is one of the themes of this Warrington side. Consistent performers. Mind you, the opposition are no slouches either. Blake Austin has been consistently good.
And Darryl Clark's an ever-present in this side as well. Whenever he plays, whenever he's on the field, they look a far more accomplished side.
That's the 5th tackle as Cooper goes down. Here is Clark just looking for Austin, as it turns out. He lobs the kick up again. Grace underneath it. Grace coolly collects, and then he's immediately under pressure from Charnley and Hughes.
Well, Josh Charnley just trying to manhandle him. That'll be a good battle today, won't it? And the outside backs for Saints certainly aren't shy of doing some work. The yardage plays that they come up with, nice and direct. And he goes looking for Mason, then as they look to shift it then to Theo Fage. They pick the wrong man out then, but they do get a penalty for a high shot on Theo Fage.
Mike Cooper just couldn't resist, could he? The half-back there, he got a chance to get a shot on him, but he went too high. He held his hand up straight away. He knew he'd let him and his teammates down there, taking the pressure off the Saints.
He has thrown himself around this field, and he's trying to impose his will on some of the bigger forwards. Picked a big running pack, haven't he? Morgan Knowles, Dominic Peru in that back line. We talk consistently about the threat of Walmsley and Thompson from the start, and then Matty Lees when he gets into the arena.
Here is Luke Thompson now, and they know the threat that Thompson poses to Warrington. They were there to face up to him. Bentley now, but Bentley is upended by Darryl Clark. Coots, Fage now across the field. Here is Kevin Nagama. Beg your pardon. Peru it is. Walmsley now. Lomax gets the pass away. Coots pass out wide to Grace, and Grace for the corner. That would be remarkable if he's got that down. A flying finish from Regan Grace. He might even have outdone his opposite number, his fellow Saints winger Tommy Makinson, with that finish. That was spectacular from the Welsh international.
Haven't we got some finishers in this sport? Oh no, his foot's on the white line. He's out. The pressure from Josh Charnley on his opposite. And I'm sure that this will be overturned by Robert Hicks.
Just one look, that's all it took. And it's no try.
Well, I wonder how many tries Tom Van Vollenhoven would have had, the legendary Saints winger, if they'd had a video referee in his days, because everybody in this ground thought that was a certain 4 points. Proof with a foot on the sideline. Regan Grace scored one of the tries this season when these sides met back in April. That was a 60-70 metre effort. This one was closer range, but he couldn't, because of the work of Charnley, keep his feet on the green.
And that's important, isn't it? Josh Charnley never gave up on that. We talk about the blistering pace of Regan Grace, but the reaction from Charnley and the contest he stuck into, and St Helens get a penalty and relieve the pressure now.
Clever play that from Warrington, holding the ball in the scrum. Saints just going offside, trying to pressure Warrington near their own line, trying to force the error themselves.
So the second penalty of the game, that is. And Wakefield are 8-6 up against the Huddersfield Giants. That ball's come out from Jack Hughes' grasp. The referee says play on. And it's with Jake Mamo now. It's an important game, Wakefield against Huddersfield. Those two looking over their shoulders now. Aquala now. Blake Austin. Austin, ball back on the inside. Good when it was. Patton lays the ball off to Aquala, and Aquala almost gets away from Nagama's challenge. Kevin Nagama just manages to get a hold of him. Austin can't keep possession under pressure, and Coop picks it up.
Well, the big surges in the carries from Warrington. The opening 10 minutes, I'm going to give this game to them. They're getting all over Saints, they're knocking them backwards, makes it easy for the next man who's carrying the ball. They're also looking to whack Saints every time they're carrying the ball themselves. But that's how you deal with Blake Austin, cut down on his thinking time.
There's not a lot of thinking time out there. It's frenzied stuff, it's a frenzied atmosphere. Oh. Bentley just manages to keep a hold of that. That's the fifth tackle. Knowles plays the ball. Coote launches a big kick, and Mamo relieved to see that one skip away.
Well, that's the second time when a high ball has gone up. And you could see with his body language, he was all over the place. High-hanging kick, changing direction. It's the second time he's allowed the ball to bounce. Luckily for Warrington, it goes over the sideline.
Ready, boys, go.
Warrington in possession then. That's good work from Tom Lynham. And Lynham got a little bit of afters there by the look of things. Just over the halfway line. Bryson Goodwin. So the three-quarters putting their shoulders to the wheel for the Warrington Wolves. And now Chris Hill. Patton. Patton skips away. Did look forward. Patton able to get the pass away to Cooper. Cooper trying to offload, but the Saints wrap him up. About 20 metres out, 4 tackles gone. With Patton now. Here's Aquala.
Keep turning that ball back inside, trying to work over that middle unit of defenders.
Patton's kick, cross field, batted down and behind all the chasing Warrington players. And Coote claims it and brings it away for the Saints.
Well, he's been a star, hasn't he, for Saints at the back. He's quick to react, and again, Saints looking to go at Warrington on the counter. Johnny Lomax going at the line, trying to fix a couple of defenders to release Coote again.
Warrington have regrouped. Here is Makinson. Makinson.
And he's there, isn't he, Coote? First time it happened, it was Bentley.
That's a
incorrect play of the ball.
Incorrect play of the ball, yeah.
Bentley. Well, the game's been played at decent pace, and he's been on for 10 minutes since Aaron Smith left the field. Bentley been involved in quite a lot. And both sides looking to earn the right to play, but if they do see something, they'll go for it. They've got that many talented players that they'll back themselves in conditions like this anyway, and with an atmosphere that really does encourage you to play rugby league.
Players taking plenty of fluid on this steamy night at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. So Warrington back in possession. Here's Chris Hill. Hill, good progress over the halfway line from the Warrington prop. Taking a few Saints players with him. Cooper. Oh, Cooper is claimed by Walmsley.
I say he was hit with an elbow as well, didn't he?
Walmsley protesting there.
Yeah, he's saying that he had his bumpers up when he goes into that. And Mike Cooper's one of those players who's not the biggest, but he's got really good footwork at the line, and they get the penalty. Yeah,
he's right, isn't he?
He is right. He
Right
puts his
into the
bumper
chest.
up, but it's straight into the throat of Alex Walmsley, and they'll take the 2 points here.
I think it starts in the chest, but it ultimately ends up around the throat of Alex Walmsley, and then he loses his marbles, turns round, shouts at the referee, and he's in an incorrect position, and the first points of the game will be a penalty goal. There you go, you can see him more concerned with trying to claim that penalty. Darryl Clark knows exactly what he's doing.
Well, Dec Patton's not taken all the kicks from Warrington this year, but he's 22 from 23. That's over 95% success. He's been a little bit fortunate that 18 of them, though, have been from a position like this in the middle of the field, and kickers at this level, well, they just don't miss from here.
So Patton should claim the first points of the game with this penalty. He's on target.
We are guests tonight. We're talking about the first points. Steve Price knows perhaps the importance of being in front. Sean Long said in the studio about the psychology of taking the lead. And obviously Warrington, either side here, want to be in lead because of the difference it makes the way you play.
Let's just get an update on Aaron Smith's condition from Fraser.
Yeah, I've just been told that Aaron has been taken to hospital, but as a precaution. It's a head and neck injury that they're concerned about, but as I say, it's a precaution, so fingers crossed. He's on his way to hospital, but he'll be fine in the long run.
Saints restart then after that penalty. First points on the board after 15 minutes. And Warrington looking to make up for their defeat earlier in the season at the hands of St Helens.
Jason Clark onto the field now for Warrington. There goes Darryl Clark with the offload.
Clark gets the pass away to King. King gets the pass away to Charnley. Charnley cuts back in field. Saints cover comes across. Clark directing operations. Austin there. Austin drifting across the field. The Saints line not distracted. Unable to deal with the threat. There is Jason Clark, 30 years old today. Curry gets the pass away, but Goodwin has to retreat to pick it up. Wigan have gone ahead 6-2 against Salford. And Wakefield 10-6 up against the Huddersfield Giants. Another hanging kick. Grace takes it, but Warrington player taken out.
Mark Percival it was, came across him.
Toby King is the man who's taken to the ground. Have a little look, it's a little nudge. Percival spots him, runs straight across him, trying to protect his winger. And that's the side they're kicking to. They're setting up to the left-hand side of the post. Warrington looking to come back to Regan Crace. They kick into him, not that he's a weakness, but because the sun in his eyes.
And interestingly here, another shot at goal for Warrington Wolves. We've only had 17 minutes, and of course, we had that break in play for Aaron Smith. Thankfully, he's okay. It's been intense. It's been a lot of collisions. Interesting that Warrington Wolves, I can understand the first decision to go for two. But I think I've probably been tempted to have another go, have another crack at the line.
St Helens, Barry, just to remind you, when they met in April, kicked 3 penalty goals in that match. That's very rare, but they took 3 penalties, took the 6 points.
So Patton, another opportunity for him to extend this Warrington lead in rapid succession. He's on target again. 4-0. 18 minutes gone.
I'd take the points if I'm down there against Saints, because they are the best defensive side in the competition. They have most things covered. The try-line defence is very good, and for Warrington, 4 points up on the scoreboard. Yeah, it's from a couple of penalties. Both sides wanting to soak up that pressure, and if it's on offer,
I can see what you're saying. I can understand the case that both of you have put forward. We've remarked on how much forward ground Warrington Wolves have been making. They're winning the play of the ball, and it could have tested and challenged that St Helens defence, but here we go. We'll crack on.
Coots, that restart hanging in the air. And Warrington, fair to say they've managed the game better early on.
they've been really good. I think the forwards have been so dominant. And Chris Hill looking to tip the ball on. Nobody's pushing up. So next thing, he just tucks the ball under his wing and keeps going. But the players are turning up for each other. Alex Walmsley looking to get into Mike Cooper, doing extra work on Mike Cooper, knowing that he's got an offload in the tackle.
Knowing that he's got a score to settle with him.
Yeah. Good pass there from Chris Hill. That's what he wanted.
There's bodies all over the place there. And in the end, it's a knock-on by Warrington.
Well, Jason Clark ends up receiving the ball, and he's adjudged to have been tackled and then passed the ball off the floor.
So it's a penalty to the Saints.
The ball carrying arm touches the floor. He tries to offload it, and that's what the referee wasn't happy with.
Well, he's saying that his arm, nobody was in contact with him, a defender wasn't around him, so that really should have been play on.
Yeah, he wasn't tackled when the ball was on the ground. He actually got up, so could have been allowed to play on from that.
So the Saints penalty, and they're attacking that end of the ground where their supporters are crammed into the terracing. And the first sight they've seen of them for some time have been up the other end of the field. Here is Loon McCarthy-Scarsbrook wrestling his way clear of the first challenge, but Jack Hughes is there. Walmsley now hurls himself at the Warrington defenders. 10 metres out. Bentley. Coots pass, Grace, and Grace slips under the challenge and is out of play. And Charnley gets the plaudits of his teammates.
Well, certainly hunting the Warrington Wolves. When the ball shifted over to Saints' left-hand side, they're moving, they're talking, they're nominating who they've got, which makes it easier for the man who's outside here. And Josh Charnley comes up with the play that forces Regan Grace into touch.
I think the pass was to Percival there. He was at least one-on-one, if not running at half a shoulder, an outside shoulder, but good job, well done. And Josh Charnley again on defence. Going to be a good duel, isn't it, that? Grace and Charnley.
Knowles wrestles Jake Mamo to the ground. Toby King now for the Warrington Wolves. Jack Hughes. 40 metres in the Warrington half. Wakefield, Huddersfield level at 10 points apiece. Clark now, Patton. Here is Cooper. Cooper inching his way forward. That's the 5th tackle, just shy of the halfway line. Patton drills the kick downfield and finds touch.
I'm loving the intensity in this game. Both sides not holding back. Deck Patton knowing that even with 4 points in their favour, they've done an awful lot of hard work.
Would they not have wanted to keep the ball on the field though? They've had twice as much possession almost as the Saints. St Helens with the side under pressure, desperate for a 60-second rest or
everybody was glad to see that ball go over the sideline. They can have a bit of a walk, get some water on board, maybe some information from the sideline. Steve Price and Justin Holbrook.
Saints coach looking on as Makinson carves his way through, and he's then dragged to the sidelines, and Warrington are penalised.
How good is Tommy Makinson? We see him with the tries that he scores, but this is the other part of his game that's so impressive, that earned him the Golden Boot last year. For the best player in the world, he was voted, and he gets the side out of trouble, gets them on the front foot, and gets them into Warrington's half.
He's got him out of trouble there. He's got the penalty as well. Wormsley off, Matty Lee's on. And in a good position now. Knowles plays the ball. Here's Luke Thompson, making his 150th career appearance in this game. Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook. Farge, quick hands. Coop though, but good defence. Line him in off his wing to make that tackle. Here is Knowles again, and Knowles brought down by Darryl Clark. Lomax, little dummy from Farge. It's gone backwards, it's 6 to go, says the referee.
Touched by Warrington while making the tackle, it ricocheted. It was Mike Cooper.
Here is Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook. Got 2 tries against the Leeds Rhinos last week. He's got the centre of the try line as LMS. Luke Thompson now. And Saints threatening here. Here is Farge. Over the head to Lomax, who juggles with it, keeps control. And Percival back across the field, straightening up towards the posts. 10 metres out. Coot now. Peru stands, gets the pass away to Luke Thompson. The Warrington defenders holding their shape. Curry with the tackle. Bentley. Farge now. Farge a little grubber kick, but Warrington defused the situation. Clark it was, Darryl.
Well, this game is all action, isn't it? A loose pass here certainly won't help Steve Price's men, but it will help Justin Holbrook's men. I said before that this game and this fixture goes up to a different level, and Darryl Clark anticipating that kick near the line to try and pressure Warrington.
Lynham back in the side after 3 games out, suspended.
He's offside in the middle, Tom.
The kick deep downfield. Coots it is, who points to Makinson and says, "That's yours." And the wingman obliges.
We've had 25 minutes of high intense, high octane rugby league. They are elite athletes, the Super League players now. Not only are they brave and courageous, but they are fit. The muscular endurance, CV endurance, it's all on show.
Wigan ahead 10-2 now against the Salford Red Devils. And Saints enjoying their best spell of the game here at the moment. Just starting to make a few inroads into the Warrington defence. Bentley ducks under the challenge and goes looking for more. There's Coots. Farge now. Farge hoists that ball, and Tom Lynham makes that one his.
Bryson Goodwin's been penalised. You can see when this ball goes up, he has a little look at Makinson, just checks him, steps into him. Tom Lynham would have been challenged by Makinson, and that's why the centre's trying to shield his winger so he can get that as a clean catch. All that does, though, is put Warrington under pressure. And like you said, Bill, I think they've had a good 8-minute spell here, Saints.
Well, the coach was asking for 2, and the players on the field, they feel 4 is coming.
They are in a great position here now, just about 10 metres out with Farge. Farge for Morgan Knowles, but that's good defence from Warrington. Second tackle. Bentley. Lees now. Just to the left of the posts. Here is Farge now. Lomax stepping back inside, but he's brought down by Philbin. Felt that, did Johnny Lomax. Change of direction. That's the 5th tackle, bang in front of the posts. The ball back with Lomax. Lomax, little grubber kick. Still alive, no, the referee brings him back for the knock-on.
Well, Dominic Peru, when that ball's kicked, he just couldn't take it in cleanly. Well, this is where Saints will get you. The kick from Johnny Lomax doesn't get through the line, it ricochets off a player, and Dominic Peru was expecting the ball to go through the line. He wasn't expecting it to come back to his hand straight away, and Justin Holbrook sending down the messages, knowing that it's been a good spell for Warrington. You just got to keep putting that doubt in the mind of the Wolves.
Lynham plays the ball. And Saints getting the measure of this game now. They trail 4-0. Philbin.
Well, it's inevitable, Bill. It would take a time to recover when your second choice hooker, Aaron Smith, who starts the game, lose after 3 minutes. James Bentley's going to take a time to adapt into it, and the team have to recover.
They seem to have done that, but they are defending at the moment as Warrington come at them again. Austin gets the kick away. Again, Grace is underneath it. The ball bounces down and has gone forward, says the referee. Toby King couldn't control it.
Does that so well, Toby King. When that ball goes up, he's challenging for it. We saw it, the tactic used by London Broncos, Alex Mellor, the fullback, putting pressure on Hull KR's Adam Quinlan. And Toby King does it, and he'll get to that ball 9 times out of 10. And on that occasion, it goes forward, but it will go for him at some point.
There's championship action coming up on Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock, Sky Sports Arena, as Batley Bulldogs take on the championship leaders, the Toronto Wolfpack. And here is Kevin Nagama. Nagama plays that ball. Makinson. Familiar, scuttling running style of his.
Nice skill, though, wasn't it? From the offload for Makinson, the catch, the recovery. Paolo Amo now they're starting to play.
Kyle Amor on the field.
Play on so far.
Farge manages to get away from the challenge of Philbin. He's still going.
Surrender.
Eventually they stop the French international's progress.
What
There's the
after an
offload.
offload.
That kick's hoisted towards Jake Mamo. He's going to have to claim this one. He does.
One. Move. Ready, go, goalie, go.
Well, Jake Mamo, again, the man who's took off from Stefan Ratchford at the back. He has to defuse that situation. And Saints just piling in, aren't they?
Move, Matty. Ready.
Well taken.
Go.
Mamo's former club, the Huddersfield Giants, in action at Wakefield tonight. 10 points apiece the last time we heard that game.
Go. Four, move.
Well, there's so many threats on both sides. I think with Warrington, I was going to say they needed a penalty. They need to get near Saints' try line. The opening 10 minutes belonged to Warrington. With how hard they were running, they were winning the contest, they were landing on the front, they were getting up quickly, markers aren't set. And from that play, that was reminiscent of what they were doing in the opening 10. But they need to play down their Saints' line and put pressure on them. That's when they were having joy.
Well, they'll be looking for some joy here. Just over half an hour gone, of course, a lengthy stoppage while Aaron Smith was treated and then taken from the field.
Matty Lees. What about that?
It's not Chris Hill off his feet.
No respect. 21-year-old Matty Lees on 31-year-old Chris Hill.
You know, and he's missed more tackles than anyone in the competition, Matty Lees, but it's not because he can't tackle, it's because he flies off the line like that. Look at this. Love watching him play.
But meanwhile, Warrington come forward. It's with Jason Clark. 4 tackles gone. Here's Blake Austin. Austin steps past the first challenge from Peru, but is then brought down. Bentley and Coote, the tacklers. And that's the turnover.
Poor end, wasn't it? I can't believe what Warrington were thinking there. Unless they're unaware that it was the last tackle, just to throw the ball there to Ben Curry and hope that his magic can get him through the 3 defenders.
Well, Blake Austin had a go, didn't it? You can see him playing the ball there. He would normally take charge and take control. Blake Austin stepped off that left foot, hoping to find a lazy defender.
No place for lazy defenders out there tonight.
Not a chance.
A couple of lazy commentators.
Even the wingers have been tested.
Bone idle.
Melting.
Paulo. Here's Lomax. Lomax tackled by Blake Austin. Big battle going on between those two, and Austin gave himself away there.
He was beaten, the little show and go from Johnny Lomax. He's saying that he can't hear because of the spectators, but the referee quite rightly says, Ben Taylor, you know when the tackle's complete. You're looking round at me. You're trying to buy an extra second or two because you were beaten. You were beaten with the vision from Johnny Lomax. Then you get up and you try and hold on to that ball.
Did he set all that?
Yes.
Kyle Amor, he made his St Helens debut on this ground back in 2014. Got a try on that day. Here's Dominic Peru. No Zeb Taylor, remember, in this Saints side after his shoulder injury last week. It's a big loss for Saints, but they do have the reinforcements. Paulo back in the side. They're on the attack now. Farge almost ducking under the challenge. Clark with the tackle. Amor gets the pass away. And that's been knocked on. The Saints fans celebrate. Matty Lees thought he got over. Justin Holbrook can't believe it, but
the ball doesn't go to the ground, but when Matty Lees tries to catch this ball, it then comes off deck pattern, and then it goes back into the hands of Matty Lees, so it's the correct decision from the referee, Ben Taylor.
It is. It doesn't have to hit the ground, as Terry's just said. As soon as it touches that player, it's a knock-on.
You didn't believe me, did you, Ben?
I did. Absolutely. I have every faith. It's just like being marked by an examiner, isn't it? It's like having your driving test with him sitting behind you.
Fingers crossed I've said the right thing.
Just guess.
Warrington have got a serious issue, a problem with a player in the back there. The doctor and physio treated him. I think it may be Chris Hill. The referee stopped the game. He has a blood. An eye issue.
Wigan head 10-6 at half-time against Salford. And Wakefield have gone ahead against Huddersfield, 16-10. That's the half-time score at the Mobile Rocket Stadium. Chris Hill is leaving the field reluctantly.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go off the field, does he?
He's only just come back on, hasn't he? Went off after 22 minutes. They gave him a rest. He was fantastic in that opening quarter. Collision of heads.
So Hill is off for, presumably off for a concussion assessment.
Aquala's back on now for Warrington after his break, so he'll be nice and fresh. So now we've got Aquala on the field and Joe Philbin.
There is Philbin. Still 4-0 the scoreline, just 2 penalties to the Warrington Wolves in this game. There is Sitaleki Aquala.
Great work from Mike Cooper. As far as I know, he hasn't had a break. He's been on the field the entire time. Quick play the ball, gives Darryl Clark a little look.
Here's Coot now. Makinson, screech of brakes as he put the anchors on there. Nakama, just over the halfway line for the Saints, looking to find a way through this Warrington defence. Can they come up with that? Percival, but no. Toby King, good tackle from him. 4 tackles gone. Grace gets away from King's challenge at the second attempt. That's the 5th tackle. Paulo plays the ball. Lomax. This time to Grace, and Grace nowhere for him to go. Again, the Warrington defence is there to shut down the threat.
A lot of homework, I'm sure, would have been done by Steve Price and Josh Charnley, knowing that that's what the favoured side of Lachlan Coote when he comes over the left-hand side, and he loves that cut-out ball to the winger. And defensively, you've got to be switched on. You can't bite in and try and close the player down.
Clark felt that, just getting back to his feet. Jason Clark very slowly. He's okay to continue. Half-time approaching. And still waiting for the first try of this game. Lynham, a run from him, penalty to Warrington.
No tries, but hasn't it been a good game? Bentley, he gets caught, it's a one-on-one tackle. And then he's just holding on to Lynham, who's fighting to get up and play that ball. And I'm sure that Austin will kick this ball as deep as he can. He has to Saints his half.
He hasn't got much option, James Bentley. He's a much bigger man, Tom Lynham. Knocks his knees together, drops him to the floor, but unfortunately just hangs on half a second.
So Warrington, that penalty taking them well into Saints territory. Aquala makes some more meters for this Warrington side. Patton, Clark, quick hands, but the ball ricocheting and coming up for Saints.
Dominic Peru on Jason Clark then, trying to force the error, and he certainly did that. Intimidating defence, and on the back of that, picking up the ball, they've earned the side a penalty.
Such an aggressive defender, isn't he? We forget, you know, he came over as a centre, couldn't really nail down and guarantee that spot, but puts his body on the line in the back row, and Kyle Amor gets through contact, through the other side, and earns his side a penalty, and 30 metres downfield.
Matty Lees winds up for a big charge towards the Warrington line. He is stopped by Clark and Hughes. Fage Paulo onto Lomax. Lomax darts and ducks under the first challenge, then plays the ball. Joseph Paulo now. Here is Fage. Fage puts a little grubber kick in, too strong. Mamo surely can't get out of trouble there. He can't, but he's defused the danger. And that'll do for the Warrington Wolves.
I think wrong option as well on the third play. Theo Fage, he couldn't pass the ball out to Lachlan Coote. The Warrington defenders had come up, cut that ball out. So instead of taking the tackle, he decides to kick through. And Jake Mamo was positioned perfectly for that. They're probably going to get 3 or 4 more tackles now. Saints.
That's the halfway line where Lomax takes that ball and leads again. Oh, my word!
Don't you just love this game?
Here is Kyle Amor. Amor flicks the pass out. Comes to Joseph Paulo. Peru wrestling for the ball. It's come backwards. It's still going backwards. It's gone forward. And that'll be it for the first half.
Darryl Clark on Matty Lees. What a fierce contest this really is.
Whoa. Scrambling, ferocious. On a steamy, hot night at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium. Not a try in sight. Saints have probably had the best of the opportunities. Regan Grace twice denied by fantastic goal line defence from the Warrington Wolves. But Patton, with those 2 penalties, has given Warrington a narrow lead in this contest between the top 2 in the Betfred Super League. Analysis of this great game coming up after the break.
Cricket World Cup doubleheader coming up for you on Sky Sports Cricket World Cup channel. Pakistan take on Afghanistan tomorrow, 10 a.m. start for that. Pakistan with a win over Afghanistan will jump into 4th spot, leapfrogging England, who are in action on Sunday. Australia already in the semis take on New Zealand, who are almost there. That's 1 p.m. Sunday, England, India at 9:30 a.m. for that. And on Monday, Sri Lanka take on the Windies, 10 a.m. start again, Sky Sports Cricket World Cup channel. Our focus tonight is on round 20 of the Betfred Super League. 2 other games tonight in action. Half-time over the Mobile Rocket Stadium. Wakefield with a 16-10 lead over Huddersfield. Tyler Randall with a couple for the home side. Alex Mellor and Lewis Senior for the Giants. Wigan have a 4-point half-time lead over Salford. Liam Marshall and Joe Greenwood with the tries for the home side. Daryl Alsford replying for Salford. All right, it is 4-0 at half-time here at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium. We promised you tries, they haven't yet come. 2 Dec Patton penalty goals have the home side with a 4-0 lead. Let's take you into the dressing rooms. Let's have a look first, I should say, at the half-time stats. Well, what stands out immediately is a completion rate of 83% for the Warrington Wolves, just 63% for St Helens, with a split possession 50-50. You'd imagine St Helens will not be too disappointed with a completion rate that low to be only 4 points behind. Right into the dressing rooms here at the Halliwell-Jones Stadium as Steve Price addresses his troops. Just a narrow lead, having a word with Josh Charnley there. Last few words before the boys prepare to take the pitch for the second half. Justin Holbrook, plenty of work to do for his side. Not as fluid in attack as we have seen from St Helens in 2019, but they do have 40 minutes to work on it. They are top of the table and they will be looking to extend that. Can they get in, if they can get into this game and get ahead on the scoreboard? I'm going to ask you, Sean Long, as we look at the 2 best attacking sides in Super League, St Helens averaging 34 points a game, Warrington averaging 30 points a game, why we've seen no tries in the first half?
I think if Warrington was playing any other team, I think they'd have scored 3 tries in the first half. I do think Saints have scrambled really well. They've worked hard. There's a couple of reverse kicks. There's a couple of flag kicks gone to Regan Grace. They've come up with the goods and fired straight back at St Helens. I think a couple of times as well, they've left big spaces in the middle and Clark's ripped straight through, but they've scrambled, they've worked hard and they've worked together and won it back a little bit. Blake Austin's gone from his right edge. He's gone over to the left. He's had enough of it. He's like, I'm going to attack down this left-hand side. And it's causing them a lot of stress and a lot of damage. I think at one point when they had them on the rack, St Helens, when they had St Helens on the rack, they kicked for goal and then they had an opportunity for go for the throats. And then they decided to take another go for goal.
Okay, the game started with that serious injury to Aaron Smith. He's been taken to hospital. We'll keep you updated on his status. Stretchered off, precautionary trip to hospital. St Helens nearly scored with a Regan Grace effort in the corner. Foot in touch. Some good defensive work by Warrington.
Yeah, I actually think this is just a normal set play from a 50%. They got 2 middles, pulling the sugar at the back, and then they pass it to Regan Grace.
That's the first penalty the deck pattern kicks. It's this second one that you had a big issue with.
Yeah, I just didn't like it. I thought all the momentum was with Warrington. I thought if I was St Helens, what would I want them to do? Please kick for goal so I can have a 2-minute breather and I can kick it back to you and I can defend in your yardage set. I just felt they let them off the hook there, but they're up by 4 and, you know, I think St Helens, though, they look a little bit clunky. On the flip side, well, you mentioned that about the 61%. St Helens should never be in this game completing at 61%. It should be 18-0. No, they're the only team I believe in Super League what can complete at 61% and win the game, and that's worrying.
But they are absolutely in this game. We can go to John Wells. There was no tries in that first 40 minutes, but he's worked hard to dig out a game breaker, or certainly a first half breaker. John.
Yeah, a couple of points to have a look at. The first for Warrington, then we'll take a close look at St Helens and something Sean Long was saying. Both sides are defending extremely well. Some work here, so it's Warrington picking a side and then working around the corner. So they'll go with a strong run from Tom Lynham. They'll pick out Theo Farge, and that's a common theme there in this period of play that we're going to see. But it's now this work around the corner. Have a look at Bryson Goodwin. They'll look at that short side. They'll look at this unset attack, this the unset defence, this defence that's not had much time to communicate with one another, and they're going to keep going. They'll go at the short side. They'll pick out those same defenders, put more work through those same defenders, and in particular Theo Farge. Very often teams will do that. Have a look here again. That's a great run by Chris Hill right into the same man again. That's 3 on the bounce that Theo Farge has had to do. Common theme for plenty of teams. They'll look to target the most threatening opposition players and put loads of work through them, and that's essentially what they're looking for. They're looking for late retreats. We saw Dominic Peyroux coming back at the end of that, and they'll look to try and exploit that as the game goes on. For the Warrington side of things, they're your 2 danger men. There's Lomax, and in particular this man, Coote. This is what he does well. This is why I think he is in the reckoning. Well, he certainly is in the reckoning for the Man of Steel. Why I think he's been an extremely astute signing. It's his ability just to ghost into the line. The set-up play is on Blake Austin, and it's this line here from Morgan Knowles that does it. It holds Blake Austin, and then there's another lovely piece of work here. Just this pass here. They'll have done some work on Josh Charnley. He's in a difficult position as the winger here. He's got to really try and let St Helens play their hand and try and work off the back of that. Have a look at this for some scramble. He very, very nearly stays a little too long. It's a try-saving effort, and you see another attempt from St Helens. Same thing. This time, Farge with Coote. Same front line attempt here to hold Blake Austin, and then again the cut-out ball. The cut-out ball's significant because they're looking at Josh Charnley potentially holding against his opposition centre just that little bit too long. The Warrington Wolves have scrambled incredibly well with what Saints have thrown at them, but as Sean Long says, the vice versa holds true too.
John, thanks very much. It is hot and humid here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium, matched by the action on the field. How does this second half unfold? Do you change your prediction?
No, I don't change my prediction. I think if St Helens can get the completion, and if we're like 83%, I think they'll win the game. The worrying thing for Warrington is that they're completed really hard. They've got all the momentum, and they're only up by 4.
As our man Eddie Hemmings would say, never write off the Saints. Sean Long certainly will not write off the Saints. They have travelled in huge numbers, just a short distance from St Helens here to Warrington. Over 3,000 away fans have crammed into the Halliwell Jones Stadium. Their side very much in this. 2 competition points on offer. First v second, there's only 4 points in it. Second half on the way.
NRL action to look forward to on Sky Sports tomorrow with the Newcastle Knights against the Brisbane Broncos, 8:30 a.m. Sky Sports Arena, and 10:30 Parramatta against Canberra. Both on Sky Sports Arena, 8:30, 10:30 for those two games. We have the best two attacking units in Super League in action in this game, and they haven't managed to try between them so far. Warrington averaging 4.9 tries a game, St Helens averaging 6 tries a game. But we're still waiting for the first try of this game, because it has been a ferocious contest. Chris Hill back out there, he will testify as to just how ferocious it has been. The likes of Tommy Makinson, who is one of the best finishers in the game, has not really had a chance, and Deck Patton's 2 penalties have made the difference in this game so far. 40 minutes coming up, the crowd eagerly awaiting, because if it's as good as the first 40, it's going to be absolutely belting.
Well, the two best defensive teams as well, Bill, on short. So Darryl Clark just before half-time put a shot on. Justin Holbrook, the St Helens coach, knows that his side are in the battle, but they have got the players, the likes of Johnny Lomax, who had a good opening 40 minutes. And Blake Austin, the man who's just lining the TOP. I think some of the Warrington fans will be hoping that he injects himself into this game in the second half.
Ben Taylor ready to get the second half underway. Saints will get first touch of the ball then after the resumption, and it's with Kyle Amor. And the Cumbrian is greeted by Chris Hill. Now Morgan Knowles, beg your pardon, Matty Lees, who showed plenty of enthusiasm when he came on the field in that first 40 minutes. Dominic Peru. Aaron Smith, of course, out of action. Quick hands, ball back on the inside. But Coote is brought down. Good tackle it needed to be by Akuala. Saints keeping it alive, showing their intent early on in this second half. Percival slips, that's a good opportunity for Austin to make the tackle as Percival cut back in field. That's the 5th tackle, about 40 metres out as the ball is hoisted across field. Nakama bats it back and into the hands of Kyle Amor. Amor drifting across the field, gets the pass away. It's now with Coote. Coote manages to get the kick in. Charnley makes that look so easy as he gathers the ball for the Warrington Wolves. Opportunity early on in this second half to go down to the sidelines, get the half-time news from Fraser.
Well, it's such a tough game, this one, so tight that it's not surprising really that the messages from the two coaches are very similar. As far as Steve Price is concerned, he wants them to keep sustaining the drives forward. He feels they're in a real dogfight. He wants his side to complete their high sets, defend well and keep working in the same way. As for Justin Holbrook, well, he's not so happy with the way they started the first half, but he's really proud of the way that they dug in there and hung in. He thinks that they finished better in this first half. More of that in the second, please, as far as he's concerned.
Austin under pressure gets the kick away, sits up for Makinson, and Makinson puts the foot down. 22-6 now. Wigan are leading the Salford Red Devils. So Wigan in control of that game, and it could come down to a one-point finish. Wakefield 17, Huddersfield 10. Got to be Danny Brough.
Yeah, no
against
doubt.
his former club.
Looks a decent game, that one, doesn't it?
Yeah. They've already beaten them, haven't they, by a drop goal twice this season. 1 point separating those sides. You'd have thought Huddersfield might deserve their turn, but Makinson, second run in the centre 6.
Percival gets the ball back in field. Makinson keeps it alive, but they've lost ground.
Although those offloads are scruffy, we've already seen in 2 minutes and 40 seconds that Saints are trying to use the ball, find space, create momentum through offloads and risky offloads. Not that they're a risk in Saints' mind, they're just opportunities.
The kick from Coots, and Mamo collects it near his own try line. So Saints really setting their stall out at the start of this second half, the way they've kept that ball alive.
It seems all about speed as well, and if you're playing the ball and you're running the ball really quick, it's hard as defenders to dominate in collision and catch the player, hold him up, take him to ground on your terms. If you're constantly up against the team that's offloading, you can't get set.
Here's Ben Curry, the crowd like that, and referee Ben Thaler looks to the sidelines and awards the penalty. I thought his initial reaction was that it was straightforward knock-on, Stuart.
Well, he hadn't seen the ball come out, but he's got a call from the toucher to say it was helped out by a Saints player. Just a different angle, it helps him out.
Well, we see these go either way, don't we? There's quite a few bodies, St Helens shirts underneath Ben Curry as he looks to run at Theo Fage over on this left side for Warrington.
Time is off. We're there.
So the penalty, when they get round to tapping it.
Well, I think that shows the opening 4 minutes belong to Saints, and they're just taking the time now and assessing what's in front of them.
On the 40-metre line then, with Jason Clark looking for a win to celebrate his birthday. Akuala. He's impressed the Warrington supporters this evening. Patton. Austin's pass goes behind Jake Mamo, and that's good work from Makinson to bring the fullback down, and then Jake Mamo just lost it as he got up to play the ball.
Well, great work from St Helens. When St Helens would have gone in at half-time, they'd have been delighted not to have that line breached. I just feel that Warrington should have got over the line, should have posted at least one try and gone in a positive frame of mind. Jake Mamo, after a loose pass, after some hustle and some hurry from Tommy Makinson, makes the mistake.
I'm just intrigued after an incident like that. A lot of teammates go up to a player and tap them on the shoulders. Don't worry about it. Have you ever gone up to anybody and said completely the opposite in a situation like that?
I've gone up loads of times, so you've let us down there, lad.
No, he's had it said to him. Sausage fingers here.
Here's Lomax for Saints, looking to profit from that error from Jake Mamo. Matty Lees now. Warrington supporters, well, they've been in good voice all night. Way before the kick-off, the ground was buzzing. It has been that sort of night. Percival. King clinging on, but not clinging on for long enough. And Percival looks to the referee, and still goes Mark Percival, still weaving his way through, and eventually they bring him down. Here's Bentley now.
And Jack Hughes offside.
They're furious, aren't they, the Warrington players? They felt that when Mark Percival surrendered himself, he was going to surrender to the tackle, but it was a bit like under eights. He stopped and then started again. Look, I've got you. No, carry on.
Well, it's a penalty, and it's Saints looking to get the first try of the game then. On the back of it, here is Kyle Amor. There is 21-year-old James Bentley, once of the Bradford Bulls. Big prospect he is. Theophage, Peru now. Darryl Clark with the tackle. Bentley, Amor gets the pass away, and it's knocked on.
He wasn't expecting that, was he? Young James Bentley. And the coach, Justin Holbrook, wanted just to keep building that pressure. Kyle Amor goes into the tackle. You've always got to be aware with the likes of Kyle Amor. They'll look to try and offload that ball.
But you could see from the reaction of Justin Holbrook, he didn't want that, did he? He wanted his front rower to set field position right in between the sticks and let those back line and those decision makers, Lomax and Fage, organise something on the edges.
So still, we're waiting for the first try of this game.
Well, if you're in the changing rooms at half-time and you're Steve Price, you're going to say to your players, expect a real big opening 10-15 minutes in this second half. Saints are going to throw absolutely everything at you. They're going to hit you hard, they're going to look to take it to ground, they're going to shift the ball.
What was interesting about Warrington that first half, they only used 15 players. You know, what's been the hottest day of the season so far, they only used 15 of the 17 players. They've just brought a sub on for the first time, Lamatasi, and they're hoping to turn up the power here now before Saints bring Walmsley and Thompson back into action.
Patton thumps that ball downfield, and Coote, the Scottish international, has to gather it and runs it back, and then gets the ball to make him. So look at Lynham. Tommy Lynham was waiting.
Bill, and that kick on the fourth play, that was just all about distance. Get the ball as far away from our try line as we can. Wasn't heading towards the sidelines. You get up there, and likes of Tom Lynham and Josh Charnley can come in and close the plays down, restrict the yardage that Saints are trying to make now.
Battling for every inch of the field, these two. Here is Kyle Amor. Bentley getting plenty of game time with Aaron Smith out of action after that head knock. That's the 5th tackle. It's about 40 metres out. Lomax launches that one towards Jake Mamo. The fullback came for it, got there in the end.
He did really well then, because that ball was going everywhere. It was a horrible kick for Jake Mamo to catch then at the back. Well, that's his job. That's the shirt he's been given tonight by his coach. You can't let him bounce. He's let a couple bounce in the first half, but not on that occasion.
He lands awkwardly in that challenge there. He's limping back into position, Jake Mamo.
Clark was almost through there. Is this game going to go? It's going to open up. Charnley. Here is Darryl Clark again. Ben Curry now. Curry brought down by Theo Fage. Goodwin now. Goodwin for Patton. And Patton's kick cross field. Grace. Oh, Grace in all sorts of strife with that one, and manages to get away with it.
Oh, Grace was under fire then, wasn't he? It was high, hanging, he didn't know where it was going. Allowed it to bounce, and luckily for St Helens, they managed to get the ball, but look at Warrington now, turning up the dial in defence.
Look where it's left the Saints in terms of getting out of their own defensive zone. They concede.
Yeah, sloppy play the ball, Bill.
Well, they thought he was cheating though. He thinks he's actually gone to win a penalty. That's how I interpret that. Stuart might give us a better definition here. Grace gets away with it here. And when you watch what Nagama tries to do at the play of the ball, he's trying to kid the referee into giving a penalty. That's the conclusion the referee has come to.
It is. He's got to get to his feet. I know he's trying to play the ball quickly, but Bryson Goodwin also has to be given the time to get out of the tackle, and he's moved forward off the mark. Really left him with no option.
There you go, another 2 points for Warrington.
Des Patton is lining up for another kick at goal. Lachlan Coots and referee Ben Thaler having a conversation. Coots questioning that decision. Ben Thaler explaining.
I'm not sure it was one of the players in the backfield. He was getting a bit of communication from Ben Thaler. Pulled Lachlan Coote over and said, have a word with him. I have a feeling it was Nagama. I might be wrong.
It was Barry, Kevin Nkwama.
So, Dec Patton. All the points from the boots of the 24-year-old Declan Patton. 25 goals for his season now. And he has put Warrington 6-0 up.
I know we've got just over 28 minutes to go in this game, but because points have been hard to come by, and it's only because of the boot of that man that they find themselves in front by 6 points. If they get anywhere near Saints' line, do we think they could go for a drop goal so early in the game?
Yeah, I think they might do. It might be easier than a try at this point in time.
Patton is underneath it, and Lamatasi on the charge for the Warrington Wolves. Back in the side after 8 games out, a former Saints man. And here's Chris Hill, and Hill runs into a wall of Saints players there.
He didn't have a good time at Saints, Lamatasi. I'm sure he's got a point to prove in a big game like this.
Jack Hughes in possession. Blake Austin. Jason Clark now. The Saints supporters away to our left, looking to lift their side, and Austin goes on the run. Austin eventually brought down by the retreating James Bentley. Patton kicks down the sideline, ball sits up for Coote, the Saints fullback, gives it to Grace. Grace trying to use his pace.
There was a lot of good organisation there. He has a go, doesn't he, Blake Austin? Goes down that side.
Makinson taken high.
Oh dear. Makinson with footwork. That's a shoulder charge under today's rules from Jack Hughes.
Shoulder charge with the elbow to the head, Barry.
It's a shoulder charge. The elbow ends up near. Let's have a look at it here. He's done for footwork there, Jack Hughes.
The crowd's seen it.
I don't think the elbow's anywhere near the head, but under today's rules, that's a penalty.
Well, he's going to go to the sin bin, I think. Seen it as a shoulder charge. I think the match review panel will have a good look at that to see if there's any contact with the head, and they've got a bit more time to look at it on Monday. But it's a shoulder charge that he's going to the sin bin for.
Well, that makes it interesting now, doesn't it? Defending with 12 rather than 13.
In conditions like this as well, Phil.
And then you can imagine at some point St Helens are going to bring Thompson's back on the field. Walmsley might not be far off. This will be the big charge, the surge now from the Saints.
Yeah, I don't think there's contact with the elbow to the head. There's definitely the arm. Tommy Makinson gets up straight away.
He said that's a good shot, that, and winks at him. And winks at him. Thanks for knocking me off my feet.
Well, it's
very
cost,
polite, aren't they?
It has cost Warrington the services of Jack Hughes for 10 minutes.
And it just makes it harder if you're defending now. Jack Hughes off the field. He's let his teammates down then. All he had to do was wrap him up.
Saints haven't been nilled in a game since 2016 when Wigan beat them 25-0 in the Super 8s. At the moment they trail 6-0. Looking to do something about it against the 12 men of Warrington. Luke Thompson on the charge. Matty Lees plays the ball. Bentley, and Bentley can't get the pass away. Referee says it's gone backwards. It's gone backwards. And they're on the charge again, and the ball comes loose.
Mistake from Morgan Knowles there, but much more movement with the ball from St Helens. Warrington seem to have been coming away from the line a lot in the last 2 or 3 minutes. The ball is snatched at Morgan Knowles, so close to the try line, and almost sniff it. Tristan Holbrook knows. Chance gone begging.
There haven't been many chances in this game. It's ironic, isn't it? Last night we were talking about missed chances in the game between Hull Kingston Rovers and Hull FC. There've been very few in this one.
Yeah, totally agree. Wolfie trying to get the fans going. Jason Clark did a decent job then putting Bentley off when he got out from dummy half. Forced it into a loose ball, but he can't switch off against the Saints side. They will try absolutely anything.
Charnley with the run. Coote up there in the defensive line, grits his teeth and makes the tackle, but they come again.
Nice line speed by Morgan Knowles, just taking Lamatasi down.
Here is Jake Mamo now. The crowd hasn't been hushed all evening, I don't think. It has been a raucous, red-hot atmosphere. They're on the halfway line with Jason Clark. Austin. Really stifled Blake Austin of Saints. He's not had the space that other sides have afforded him. Mike Cooper now. That's the 5th tackle. And Patton drills the kick down the sidelines. Again, it's a good one. Patton directing operations.
Well, it's just all about wasting time for Dick Patton and getting some energy back into the legs and oxygen into the lungs. Missing Jack Hughes on the sideline. They don't need to keep the ball in play. What they need to do whilst he's off the field is manage the game, manage the field position where they are.
And you're right, Bill, about Blake Austin. They've been right on top of him. Jack Hughes there just gathering his thoughts, getting ready to come back on. They've been right on top of Blake Austin, but if they get a bit of momentum at the play of the ball, they can start to win the floor, Warrington. I'm sure we'll see Darryl Clark come more into the game.
Makinson, there is Blake Austin doing the tackling for Warrington. Lomax fires the pass out to Grace. What's going on elsewhere? Wakefield ahead 23-10 now against the Huddersfield Giants. Significant win for Wakefield on the cards there. Significant defeat for Huddersfield if that's how it turns out. Walmsley's pass. Oh, nice ball for Coote. Is this game going to open up as fatigue sets in on this sweltering hot night? Walmsley again.
The pass was on again then. And a support runner in space.
Last tackle, here's Farge. Farge, it's Walmsley once more. Do you want me to kick it as well, he says. Lomax, ball over the top. Grace back on the inside. Joseph Paulo keeps it alive. They still manage to keep it alive. Luke Thompson now. Thompson, has he got any tricks in the book? No, that's the turnover.
Look how quick they adjust them when the ball shifts over to Saints' left-hand side. Let's not forget, one man down. So Saints are looking for that space. Alex Walmsley, nice little tip on to Lachlan Coote. Sean Long saying, 2 years ago, he didn't have that pass in his game.
They are throwing the ball around Saints a lot, but it's noticeable on the back end of sets and last play. They're not as organised as they should be and not as organised as they usually are.
Lynham under pressure, gets the pass away to Bryson. Goodwin. Back in the centres, Goodwin now that Lynham is back from suspension. That's a bonus for the Warrington Wolves. Here's Matt Davis off the bench. I'll tell you what, from Leicester Storm to Warrington against St Helens on a night like this.
He's a great find, isn't he? He adds a lot when he gets onto the field. Very energetic, enthusiastic, much like LMS for Saints, who of course started the game this evening.
Both of them started at London Broncos, didn't they?
Kick down the sideline again is a good one. The second's eaten up with Jack Hughes waiting to come back on.
And it's a good kick under pressure from Blake Austin.
Here we go, we're just about to go to the crucial part of this game. I'm sure the last 10 minutes will really test the players, but the last quarter, mental and physical fatigue, we said a few times. Elite athletes, high intensity.
I think the last 10 or 15 minutes, this game's going to open up. They can't keep up the pace of this game. The rotation of the substitutes is going to be important from both coaches.
This is a grand final rehearsal, which a lot of people are suggesting, maybe even a Challenge Cup final rehearsal, then it's a pretty good advert.
Well, this sort of form is the reason why they're both sitting at the top of the table. Saints first, Warrington second.
Nagama tackled. Makinson. Warrington's defence has been solid and hasn't allowed Saints much room for manoeuvre. Coote, Lomax under pressure, does well, keeps it alive. Lomax cuts his way through. He's on his own, and back comes King to make the tackle. Coote, they've got numbers down that short side. The ball was forward, was it? Percival celebrates the try. Justin Holbrook celebrates the try. Ben Thaler awards the try. The Warrington Wolves supporters are furious. First try of the game goes to St Helens and Mark Percival, his 7th of the season. They had the numbers on that short side and they used them.
Well, it took 60 minutes to score the try, but Johnny Lomax is the man who gets them down into that field position. He doesn't panic. He knows that he's got to get up quick and play the ball. And when the ball goes out to Mark Percival, it's a low pass, but I think he has been outstanding. The last 3 years, Mark Percival has been one of the best centres in the Super League. He's got a good record.
I'm sorry, Ted, that's forward for me. Theo Farge passes it on the line. It ends up 1.5 meters in front of Percival. They won't mind. They've taken the opportunity available to them. It's chaotic at the back end of sets for St Helens, but that might well be what they're trying to do. Throw everything they can at this stern defence of Warrington Wolves. but at last it's broken the game open now.
Coots conversion attempts from that far side of the field to level the scores. The Warrington supporters outraged by how that try came about. Great kick from Lachlan Coots. 71 goals to his name this season. Percival with the try.
But classic sporting moments have many different ingredients, and one of them, which appears in any sport, is controversy. There'll obviously be a disagreement here now. The try is awarded, you play to the whistle. Warrington fans arguing out it, but...
Well, you look at that angle that we've just seen there, that's the angle the touch judge gets, and that ball comes out of Theo Farge's hands sideways. Instead of the momentum, he's been tackled and stopped still, and the momentum takes the ball forward.
That is forward. Not a
The
lot,
try is awarded.
but it's forward.
The try is awarded.
I don't care what the hands look like, it's forward.
What we do have here is a good 18 minutes, the final 18 minutes of this game.
6 points apiece.
Yeah, I think we all thought last night's game was a classic encounter between Hull and Ulster. This has taken it to another level for an hour. This has taken rugby league to the highest level in this country for 60+ minutes, and we've got the best still to come.
Here is Theo Farge, one of France's best. Has had a great season. And Saints now looking to ram home their advantage at the moment, because I think Jack Hughes still... He's on the sidelines, in fact, waiting to come back on. The kick is hoisted. Jake Mamo is there.
Good take from Mamo. What St Helens are doing when they can see Lamatasi and Akwala around about the play of the ball, they're picking up and finding that inside pass to Lachlan Coote. Jack Hughes, a full complement of 13 on now for Warrington. It's been a costly 10 minutes for the Wolves.
They conceded that try.
Straight back into the action as well here. Say about a good take from Mamo.
Good footwork from Chris Hill, skipping away from the first challenge, the Warrington captain. Austin, big high kick from him, and Coots, what a signing he has been for Saints. Not flashy, but very rarely makes an error.
He's very cool at the back, isn't he? He makes everything look so easy. Just the same as this man. Good back three for both sides.
Percival, the try scorer.
Look at that. You've got to plant yourself underneath that, as well as think of the wall that's coming up in front of you.
Great shot. Makinson flung that ball out. Farge had to pounce on it.
2 carries for Makinson in this set of 6, knowing how much his forwards have done the work that they're doing.
Coots' kick into the hands of Charnley, and then Jake Mamo runs it back.
Well, you did ask the question about drop goals, Tez. And whether it's too soon, both on the clock and in the minds of both sets of players, to start thinking about it.
15 minutes left in the game. Darryl Clark thought he'd seen a gap.
He needs to do more of that, doesn't it?
Now Austin's little kick over the top. Turns Regan Grace around.
And maybe Blake Austin knows that this side need a bit of a breather. The game's been played at a frantic pace. They're only just back to the full complement, so they have been stretched for the last 10 or 12 minutes.
I'm always amazed when I watch him, Blake Austin. No gum shield, just chewing gum. It's like he's playing touch and pass. Like he's not going to get tackled, but yet he runs hard, hits hard, supports carries. You see some of the work done by Tommy Makinson. There's been lots of challenges, hasn't there? Players knocking one another off the feet. This is why we turn up to watch.
Well, Saints, have they got the energy to bring this ball out from deep, because energy now is going to be a crucial element in the closing stages of this game. Who has got the most left in the tank?
It sure is, Bill, and what you can't have too much energy. Like we just saw then, the deck pattern shot the line, and Ben Curry didn't quite go up as quick as him, which opens the space up. If you're going to fly off the line, you've got to make sure you do it as a team.
There's a knock on there, Taz.
Makes the mistake, the big powerful front rower tries to get up, he leaves Darrell Clark behind him, he tries to plant the ball on the ground and he just fumbles it.
He's done 5 or 6 carries, and we saw him get involved 2 or 3 times in a set of 6 2 or 3 minutes ago. When you don't have James Roby in your side, you're missing out on a lot of leadership, a lot of communication, especially around that play of the ball. And Big Al, Alex Walmsley, trying to take a little bit of that responsibility. Too ambitious with the play of the ball, hands possession to Warrington.
What a contest this has been. It's level at 6 points apiece between the top 2 in the Betfred Super League.
Is this a set where you go for a drop goal, Barry?
I think so, but drawn towards Blake Austin, Deck Patton, the 2 players that will take charge of it.
Patton's little kick ricochets and eventually ends up in the hands of Makinson. Could have gone anywhere, that.
Yeah, second player, Kenya, still a bit fatigued, and yeah, you're down there to try them, but I think that's a bit of a brain explosion. Yeah, you back your players to come up with the players, and Deck Patton kicking on the second play was not the play for me.
It does need somebody with a cool head to take control for either side of this game.
Here is Walmsley, running strong still for St Helens. Coots, that looked forward as well, but Thompson took it right on the line. Lomax hoists that one in the direction of Jake Mamo, and Mamo trying to get away from Lomax on the follow-up.
Well, and that's the difference, that because you didn't go through another probably 3 players, you've gifted St Helens the ball, and now all of a sudden you're down-trapped in your own half.
Here is Patton. How have they got any energy left?
They're super fit, aren't they? They're super fit.
This has been a really draining contest on a really draining night.
And a really good tackle there by Theo Fires to bring down Goodwin. That's not easy as Lynham now takes it forward. The last tackle.
He catches one there, Tom Lynham. I'm pretty sure Dominic Peru, he ends up being a little bit too high. And Ben Thaler has waved play on. There's arms all over the place here. I'm sorry, it's Maguama, not Dominic Peru. Footwork, and that definitely touches the chin.
As we said before, the video referee can only come on in if he thinks it's going to be a sin bin or a dismissal. And his view is that it's a play the ball.
Lynham back on his feet. The kick cross field from Patton. The ball is batted down. It's still with Warrington. It's been knocked forward, says referee Ben Thaler. That will be the turnover.
He just couldn't get his hands to it cleanly, Toby King, and tapped the ball back inside to one of his teammates. And you imagine being one of these players on the field here. You don't want to make the mistake. You don't want to miss the tackle. What you want to do is something that's going to go on and win this game.
It has been a huge contest. The players have given everything. They've still got 10 minutes to give some more. Percival has got a knock.
He ends up into a dangerous position, I think, and I think Chris Hill has apologised.
Chris Hill ends up on the back of the head. As you can see, he's trying to finish this tackle. He's got his head in the armpit of Chris Hill has got Percival's head in his armpit. There you go.
Just throwing this one in there, though, but this has been a fantastic contest. One that honours should end even, perhaps.
After golden point? After golden point. Or are you saying golden point?
The sort of game where a draw would be a fair outcome.
It's a big incident here. The referee, he's happy to just wave play on. Luckily, Matt Percival seems to be all right.
I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there will end up someone will lose the game, but neither side deserve to lose the game.
Luke Thompson. Well, who's he going to be? Here's Peru trying to find a hole in Warrington's defence, but there is nothing doing. Walmsley juggles with that and then barges his way into the Warrington defensive line, where Hughes and Hill do the tackling. That's the 5th tackle. So Lomax finds a bit of territory to put that kick. Play on the ball. They play on with Thompson, and Thompson going for the line. Luke Thompson with the try. The referee awards it without going to the video ref. The Saints fans jubilant. Jake Mamo couldn't take the ball, and Luke Thompson all smiles as he gets his 5th try of the season, and the try that has put St Helens in front for the first time tonight.
Well, that's the reason you are told to chase every high kick. Jake Mamo under pressure all evening, has to field a kick from dummy half from Johnny Lomax. He thinks he's got it, and then under the impact of the chasing kicker, spills the ball, and the hard-working front rower ends up being in the right place at the right time. That's one heck of a shot from Johnny Lomax.
That's a big play, isn't it, from Johnny Lomax? To put pressure on Mamo like this, force the header, and the player who's got plenty of admirers all around the world, Luke Thompson, he sticks to his job. He impresses his coach time after time. Every minute he's on the pitch, he does things that astound you.
The Saints look like they're playing to win, and Warrington are playing like they're frightened to lose. Will that then change the mentality of Warrington? They're behind on the scoreboard. They might have to try and play, force the passes, force the offloads, like Saints.
Coots trying to compose himself in this furious, red-hot atmosphere. And he is on target for 2 crucial points. Warrington 6, St Helens 12.
Well, one of the factors for me that helped really for this try was the distance that Jake Mamo had to travel to get under the kick. He ran forward about 12 or 15 metres. I know he got there in time, but having, because of Lomax's kick, pulling him from the position that he was in, drawing him forward, offered the chance for his teammates here now and Thompson to take the rewards.
Now then, can Warrington find a response? They have been, you could say they've been fairly conservative in their approach in the second half. A lot of, okay, Jack Hughes was off the field.
Well, from the first minute in the second half, I just think Saints have played the game at a different speed to what they were playing at the first half.
I think Sean Long said it at half-time. Warrington's theory and philosophy has been about completions, and although Saints haven't been that high in the completions, they've passed the ball, they've tested, they've challenged, and they've drawn a penalty out of Warrington here as Philbin. Well, he finishes that tackle off, slams Johnny Lomax to the ground, and everybody rushes in. Tempers flare.
Well, this to me feels like a drop goal set. He's going to try and calm everybody down. The clock stopped. St Helens are smart enough here to know that they kicked a touch here. They're going to get the ball in their opponent's half. They lead by 6. They've not got Sean Long anymore, but they might have one player good enough here to put 1 more point on the board, and that would be a significant point at this stage.
Deck pack, Joe Philbin gets a talking to.
I was surprised Blake Austin from the kickoff then went long instead of going short, knowing that they were in the final 10 minutes of the game.
So the high shots give Saints possession. Here's Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook. All the noise coming from the Saints supporters, the Super League leaders, ahead against the side behind them, good distance behind them in the table. And a win that would move Saints even further out in front. Here is the try scorer, the most recent try scorer, Luke Thompson. Fage, the ball goes behind him to Coote. Warrington holding their line, but Coote gets away from Philbin, gets the ball to Fage. Clark makes the tackle. Wigan have beaten Salford 28-12. And they do go for one. And Coote
gets the one. And all the crowd were calling for the 1 point. That lady there holding one finger up saying, go for one. And eventually ends up in the hands of the reliable fullback.
So he just decided, I'm going to...
He's at acting half. He couldn't find the right play, he couldn't find the right pass. Slots it over with his left.
I think the eyes from the Warrington defenders were more for what was going on around the ruck. There he goes short. Jake Mamo's getting the ball.
Mamo from the restart. Jake Mamo has turned this game around. Unbelievable. And Ben Thaler awards the try. And Warrington have given themselves a lifeline right from the restart. Saints caught napping, and Jake Mamo, a horror moment just a few minutes ago, has given Warrington hope.
Bill, they switched off. The ball had to go short. Jake Mamo couldn't believe his luck when that ball comes down into him. The Saints fans were singing, were cheering. All of a sudden, this crowd has erupted, and it's the Warrington fans that are singing now.
Patton, crucial kick this. How crucial is that 1 point from Lachlan Coote at the moment? Oh! Patton has missed it.
Well, great games need uncertainty, and short restarts in Rugby League very often provide that for you. He's disappointed they missed the kick. I think it's irrelevant, unless they thought maybe they would get into a situation and force the drop goal. He's missed this. Most of his kicks, as I say, have been in front of the post. This one's close to them, but he's lost his concentration.
You say it's irrelevant. If he slots that, they drop a goal, we're going to golden point, we're going another 10 minutes. That's what he's saying, with his body language, with his arms out wide.
They've got to score now, haven't they, Warrington? Deck Patton, I still can't believe it. He's kicked 3 out of 4 in this game, the one that mattered. He misses it.
Coots restarts. And Tom Lynham underneath it. Philbin now.
Have they got the skill? Have they got the belief, Warrington?
Oh, he's lost it.
Yes, he has.
Oh, it was Bryson Goodwin, was it? Or with Philbin?
Well, he powers onto the ball, doesn't he? He tries to pick out Theo Fage, who's got a couple of bodyguards around him. Dominic Peru involved, just backing off.
Just
comes
hits
off
the
his
boot of it.
Comes off his boot as he's trying to play the ball quickly.
Do you think, Terry, too often players, for half a second, try and play the ball quicker?
Yeah.
At the loss of possession, if you look at that over the course of a season, I don't know whether our obsession with playing the ball a quarter of a second faster, but the risk of losing possession is a good trade-off.
Well, that's given Saints head and feed at the scrum. Here is Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Justin Holbrook anxious on the sidelines. His side lead 13-10. Here's the man who's made the difference. Luke Thompson, no wonder he's got his admirers north and south of the equator. Here is Walmsley. Walmsley for the line, and Walmsley settles this one. Alex Walmsley barrels his way over, and the Saints double act has done it again. First Thompson, now Walmsley. They have blasted Warrington's defence apart to win this game.
Well, those last 60 seconds were a tale of two player balls. Philbin, first of all, when he fumbles it, straight from the kickoff, and then the play the ball from Luke Thompson. Hard and direct, he plays that ball in the right manner. Let's have another look at Philbin. Unfortunately, he makes the mistake. And after a great carry from Luke Thompson, as he's done all evening, Alex Walmsley. My word, they've been good 8 and 10 tonight for St Helens.
Well, it's been a sweet return for him, as they remember last March. He broke his neck on this ground, missed then the remaining part of the season, and he's come back in massive fashion this year.
Alex Walmsley's third try of the season. And Coots to settle this in the background. You can see the Warrington fans just resigned to their side's fate. Coots, another 2 points for him, 19-10. Warrington are trailing now.
Well, people have talked about his ability now to pass the ball, but he's not forgotten that his game is based on power, and he's powered through his opponents in the middle of the field and taken 2 points back to St Helens.
I think he's really led this evening, Alex Holmes. As we said, James Roby not there and available as we see a short kick-off. Warrington bumping into players, pushing and shoving St Helens players out of the way in a desperate attempt to get the ball. Alex Walmsley really led from the front this evening.
Wakefield have beaten Huddersfield 36-10. Big win for Chris Chester's side. And big win here for the Betfred Super League leaders, St Helens. Second half opening up a bit. How ironic that we've got all this try-scoring talent in Makinson and Regan Grace, Mark Percival, and it's Thompson. It's Luke Thompson and Alex Walmsley.
Well, they're the big players in the game. It's the forwards, Bill. Come on.
I am crediting them with bringing more to the game than props from yesteryear might have done. Here is Thompson. The props skill set has maybe advanced a bit over the years. Here's Lou McCarthy, Scarsbrook and Clark swinging in frustration maybe. It must be frustrating for Warrington because they have played their part in a fantastic, compelling game. Ferocious match. Farge has lost that ball.
Well, penalty here. It's a high shot. And surely this will just be nice 2 points just to see out the game for Saints. And they are a good side, aren't they? Under pressure. From minute one in this game, Warrington were physical with them. Deck Patton and his teammates did everything they could in that opening 40 minutes. And Justin Holbrook knew that his side were under pressure. They had to ride those tough periods. And now look at the score.
And that is the key facet of this game. Under pressure, Warrington chose to go into their shell, knockout sets, get high completions, but not really challenge. Throw the ball around, and Warrington bided the time, showed that composure, showed that patience, and when it was time to step up, they did just that.
Coote will have the final say in this game. We thought his drop goal might prove conclusive, but in fact it was that Luke Thompson try that really settled the issue. Coote adds 2 more points, and the players salute each other after a titanic tussle. They will meet again before the season's end. They might meet several times before the season's end. They might meet in the grand final at the season's end. And this has been maybe a taste of things to come between St Helens and the Warrington Wolves. A fantastic advert for the game. 2 nights of fantastic adverts for the game, and all credit to the players in action here tonight who have